The handful of almonds that sent Patricia to the emergency room looked perfectly innocent, just like the ones in your pantry right now. 3 weeks ago, this 71-year-old grandmother was doing everything right. Morning walks, Mediterranean diet, regular checkups. She'd even switched from potato chips to healthy nuts on her doctor's advice. I thought I was being so smart, she told me through tears in the cardiac unit, monitors beeping around her bed. Every afternoon, I'd have my flavored almonds, my trail mix, just like the health magazine said. Her daughter Jennifer sat beside her, holding her hand. "We bought those nuts together at the health food store," Jennifer whispered. "The clerk said they were perfect for seniors. How could we have known?" That's the question that haunts me. How many more Patricias are out there right now, unknowingly damaging their hearts with every well-intentioned bite? But those very snacks she trusted were secretly flooding her system with hidden sodium, inflammatory oils, and blood sugar spikes her aging heart couldn't handle. When her heart rhythm became dangerously irregular and her blood pressure soared to stroke levels, the culprit wasn't junk food. It was the healthy nuts she'd been eating daily for months, believing she was protecting her heart when she was actually destroying it. I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm trying to save you from Patricia's fate. As a heart surgeon who spent 3 decades watching seniors unknowingly damage their hearts with foods they think are healthy, I've identified 7 specific types of nuts that are particularly dangerous after 60. Not all nuts, just certain preparations and combinations that transform heart-healthy foods into cardiovascular time bombs. Today, I'm revealing these 7 nuts you must stop eating if you care about your heart. But I won't leave you stranded. I'll show you exactly what to eat instead. What shocked me most? Number 4 is in almost every healthy snack mix. And number 7, it's hidden in nuts you probably ate this week without even knowing it. Before we begin, subscribe to Inspired Living and hit that notification bell. Type 1 if you've been eating more nuts thinking they're healthy, or type 0 if you've been avoiding them completely. Now, let me expose the first dangerous nut, one that's probably sitting in a bowl on your coffee table right now, disguised as a harmless snack. The first heart destroyer comes coated in sweetness, honey-roasted peanuts. They sit there looking golden and innocent, bringing back memories of baseball games and family gatherings. Patricia ate them every evening while watching the news, thinking she was making a healthy choice. But here's what that honey coating really does inside your body. Behind that sweet crunch lies a triple threat: refined sugar that spikes your blood glucose, excess sodium that forces your heart to work overtime, and often hydrogenated oils that inflame your arteries. After 60, your body processes these ingredients differently than it did in your youth. Your metabolism has slowed, your blood vessels have stiffened, and your pancreas struggles to manage sugar surges. I've literally held diseased arteries in my hands during surgery, seeing the sticky plaque build up from years of innocent snacking. One patient, George, 68, couldn't understand his soaring triglycerides. "But I don't eat sweets," he insisted. His daily honey-roasted peanuts? They were dumping more sugar into his bloodstream than a candy bar. When I showed him the math, 22 grams of sugar in his typical serving, his face went pale. "That's more than my grandkids' cookies," he realized. The solution is simple but powerful. Switch to dry-roasted, unsalted peanuts. No coatings, no surprises. Your heart recognizes real food. It struggles with chemical disguises. But the danger multiplies when we add another common ingredient to the mix. The next threat might be sitting in your pantry in a fancy tin, promising variety, but delivering cardiovascular chaos. The second killer comes in attractive packages: salted mixed nuts. They seem sophisticated, even healthy. Almonds, cashews, Brazil nuts, all together. What could go wrong? Everything, if you're over 60. Patricia had 3 cans in her cupboard, reaching for handfuls throughout the day. Here's what most seniors don't realize. After 60, your kidneys process sodium 40% less efficiently than at 40. That light salting accumulates in your bloodstream, forcing your body to retain fluid. Your blood volume increases, pressure builds, and your aging heart must pump harder against increasing resistance. It's like forcing a vintage engine to work at maximum capacity constantly. Eventually, something breaks. Dr. Chen, my colleague, calls salted nuts blood pressure bombs in disguise. Just one handful can contain 300 milligrams of sodium, and who stops at one handful? The mindless snacking, especially during TV or reading, means you might consume your entire day's sodium limit without realizing it. I treated Robert, 72, whose blood pressure wouldn't respond to medication. The mystery? His healthy nut habit, nearly 2,000 milligrams of hidden sodium daily. We switched him to raw, unsalted versions. His pressure dropped 30 points in 1 month. Same nuts, no salt, dramatic difference. His wife later told me, "I can't believe something so small made such a huge difference. We thought we were doing everything right." If you regularly snack on salted nuts without measuring portions, type 1. If you already choose unsalted varieties, type 0. This helps us at Inspired Living understand what our community needs. But salt is just one danger. The next nut hazard wraps itself in something even more seductive, promising indulgence while secretly attacking your arteries. The third threat arrives dressed in chocolate-covered nuts. They whisper, "It's dark chocolate, it's good for you." They lie. Patricia kept boxes of chocolate almonds, treating herself to just a few after dinner. Those few turned into many, and those many turned into cardiovascular inflammation. Here's the brutal math. 1 serving of chocolate-covered nuts can contain 15 grams of sugar and 10 grams of saturated fat. Your 60-plus pancreas releases insulin frantically trying to manage the sugar surge. Your liver struggles processing the fat. Meanwhile, your arteries suffer the inflammatory assault. It's not a treat. It's a metabolic disaster. I've watched patients' faces fall when I explain that their healthy chocolate nuts are basically candy with a nut center. The chocolate used is rarely the beneficial dark variety. It's usually milk chocolate loaded with sugar and cheap oils. Even dark chocolate coatings add unnecessary calories and fats that aging hearts can't process efficiently. Maria, 69, couldn't understand her rising cholesterol despite taking statins. Her secret vice? A daily handful of chocolate-covered cashews. "But it's just a small treat," she protested. That small treat was adding 200 calories of pure sugar and fat daily. Eliminating them dropped her LDL by 25 points. She now keeps a photo of her grandchildren on her kitchen counter where the chocolate nuts used to sit. "Every time I'm tempted," she says, "I remember who I'm staying healthy for." Choose this instead, a square of real dark chocolate, over 70% cacao, with a few plain almonds. You get the satisfaction without the cardiovascular sabotage. Speaking of hidden dangers, the next one masquerades as adventure food, promising energy while delivering a toxic mix that slowly poisons your heart. The fourth destroyer hides in colorful packages, trail mix with candies and dried fruit. It looks wholesome, even adventurous. Nuts, fruits, maybe some chocolate chips. The package screams, natural energy. But for hearts over 60, it's a sugar-sodium-fat bomb wrapped in false health claims. Commercial trail mixes aren't what they seem. Those raisins, coated in sugar and oil, the dried cranberries, more sugar than fruit, add candied pieces, yogurt-covered bits, and salted nuts, and you're eating dessert, not a healthy snack. 1 cup can contain 40 grams of sugar, more than a can of soda. Patricia's favorite trail mix seemed perfect for her afternoon walks. What she didn't know, each handful spiked her blood sugar, inflamed her arteries, and stressed her heart. The dried fruit concentrated natural sugars to dangerous levels, while the added candies pushed it into confectionery territory. Build your own instead. Raw almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and a few unsweetened dried berries. Real fuel, not candy in disguise. But flavor addiction doesn't stop there. The food industry has found ways to make even healthy almonds dangerous, coating them in chemicals your heart can't recognize or process. The fifth danger tastes exciting: flavored almonds. BBQ, ranch, wasabi, sriracha. They promise variety and fun. They deliver MSG, excessive sodium, artificial flavors, and inflammatory chemicals. Your aging body sees these coatings as toxins, triggering defensive inflammation that damages arterial walls. These aren't just seasonings. They're chemical cocktails designed to override your natural satiety signals. You can't eat just one because they're engineered for addiction. Meanwhile, each almond delivers a payload of excitotoxins that stress your nervous system and spike blood pressure. James, 73, loved his wasabi almonds. "Keeps life spicy," he'd joke. His heart wasn't laughing. Irregular rhythms and hypertension despite medication. Eliminating flavored nuts and choosing plain versions stabilized his heart within weeks. "I didn't realize I was choosing excitement over existence," he reflected later. "Now I get my spice from life, not from artificial flavors that were slowly killing me." If exotic flavors tempt you, type 1. If you stick to plain nuts, type 0. Your responses help inspired living create better content. But even plain nuts can become dangerous when portion control disappears. The next one seems so innocent, so creamy and satisfying that most seniors never realize they're overdosing on fat. The sixth silent killer is cashews in excess. Creamy, mild, almost buttery. Cashews feel like comfort food. But they're higher in saturated fat than most nuts, and their texture makes them dangerously easy to overeat. 1 ounce equals 18 cashews. Most people eat 3 times that without thinking. Your metabolism at 65 can't process fats like it did at 35. Excess saturated fat accumulates, raises LDL cholesterol, and contributes to arterial plaque. Patricia would mindlessly munch cashews while reading, consuming 400 calories and 15 grams of saturated fat without registering fullness. Linda, 70, did everything right, except her cashew habit. "They're healthy fats," she'd say, eating handfuls daily. Her cholesterol told a different story. Limiting cashews to twice weekly and measuring portions dropped her numbers significantly. She now uses a small ramekin for portion control. "If it doesn't fit in this little dish, I don't eat it," she says. "My heart is worth more than a moment of creamy satisfaction." Treat cashews like dessert, occasional, measured, mindful. Your heart can't afford the excess, no matter how healthy the fat source. Now for the most insidious danger, one that turns even the healthiest nuts into inflammatory weapons. You might be eating these right now without knowing it. The seventh and final destroyer isn't a type of nut. It's what they're cooked in. Any nut roasted in vegetable oils, soybean, corn, canola, becomes a vehicle for inflammation. These oils are cheap, shelf-stable, and loaded with omega-6 fatty acids that trigger inflammatory cascades throughout your body. You can't see these oils. You can't taste them. But they coat every nut, turning something nutritious into something toxic. Most commercial roasted nuts swim in these inflammatory oils before packaging. Your aging body, already prone to inflammation, receives a daily dose of arterial irritants. Patricia's favorite roasted almonds seemed healthy. The label said almonds, oil, salt. But that oil, soybean oil, was silently fueling the inflammation that eventually landed her in my emergency room. She had no idea she was poisoning herself with every handful. The evidence is overwhelming. Vegetable oils promote oxidative stress, accelerate arterial damage, and increase heart disease risk. After 60, your body's ability to counter this inflammation decreases dramatically. Read every label. If it says roasted in vegetable oil, put it back. Choose dry, roasted, or raw. Better yet, roast them yourself at home with a sprinkle of herbs. Your arteries will thank you. So, what should you eat instead? The answer isn't giving up nuts, it's choosing wisely. Raw or dry roasted almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and pecans offer real heart protection. Measure portions, 1 ounce daily, not unlimited handfuls. Add spices like turmeric or cinnamon at home for flavor without danger. Keep pre-portioned bags in your car, purse, or desk. When hunger strikes, you'll reach for the right amount of the right nuts, not whatever's convenient. Most importantly, see nuts as food, not entertainment. Eat them mindfully, as part of meals, not mindlessly in front of screens. Your heart knows the difference between nourishment and excess. Patricia's recovery taught her and me a powerful lesson. At 71, she transformed her snacking habits completely. 3 months later, her heart rhythm normalized, blood pressure stabilized, and energy returned. "I thought I was too old to change," she said at her last appointment. "I was wrong." Today, she leads a healthy cooking class at her senior center, teaching others what nearly killed her. "If my scare can save one person," she says, "then it happened for a reason. Your heart has beaten over 2 billion times if you're 70. It's carried you through every joy and sorrow, every achievement and loss. Now, in this season of life, it asks for so little, just your awareness and wise choices. The nuts you choose today directly impact whether your heart beats strongly tomorrow. This isn't about perfection, it's about protection. Small changes, choosing raw over roasted, unsalted over salted, measured over mindless, create profound differences. Which of these 7 dangerous nuts surprised you most? What changes will you make starting today? Share your thoughts below. Your story might save another heart. If this video opened your eyes to dangers hiding in healthy foods, please like and share with someone you love. Subscribe to Inspired Living for more honest health guidance for seniors who refuse to accept decline as inevitable. Thank you for trusting me with your heart's health. Here's to living on your own terms with a heart strong enough to enjoy every precious moment.